Okay, so this is the percentages test that you did the other day. So let's have a look at it. As a percentage, we need to make it out of 100. At the moment, it's 19 out of 20. What you can do is either make that 100 by timesing by 5, and you do the same to the top, and 19 times 5 is 95%. So 95%. Next one, 14 out of 25. So 14 out of 25, I need it to be out of 100. So I could times it by 4, top and bottom, out of 100, and 14 times 4 is 56. So this is 56%. Okay, 24 out of 30. You make it into a fraction, you divide to make it a decimal. 24 divided by 30 is equal to 0.8. You times it by 100 and you get 80%. Okay, 24 out of 40. Divide top by bottom to get a decimal. You get 0.6, times it by 100 and you get 60%. Right, increase by 20%. So there's two ways of doing it. The first way is you find 10% and then 20% and add it on. So 10% would be £3.20 because I divide by 10. So 20% is double that, which is £6.40. I add it all on to £32 and I get £38.40. Or I've got 100% plus 20%. That's 120%, which is 120 out of 100. And if you did that, you'd get 1.2. So I can just multiply 32 by 1.2 and I'll get the same answer, £38.40. So I'm going to do the same for £184. £18.40 would be 10%. So £36.80 would be 20%. And I add it on and I get £220.80. And I'd get exactly the same if I did 184 multiplied by 1.2, which is my 100% plus 20%, and I will get exactly the same answer, £220.80. So you only have to do one. Eventually you need to be doing this second method, but either way is fine. Right, so decreasing by 30% is 100% minus 30%, so I've got 70% of what I had. And 70% is the same as 70 out of 100, and as a decimal that's 0.7. So if I multiply by 0.7, I get my answer. So 32 times 0.7, I get times 0.7, I get £22.40. Or I can do 10% is £3.20, dividing by 10, so 30% is 3 lots of that, which would be £9.60, and I can do 32 minus £9.60, and again I get £22.40. There's more things to do that way, so let's do the next one. 184, 10% is 18.40, times it by 3.
I thought you were on the phone.
And I get £55.20. And I'm not on the phone. So 184 minus £55.20 is £128.80. Do the same thing, 184 times by 0.7 and I'd get £128.80. So you only have to do one way, it's deciding which way is the best. Right, so 59% reduction is 100% minus 59%, which is 41%, and 41% is the same as timesing by 41 over 100, which is equal to 0.41. So you should have ticked this one. What will it be? It will be 85 times 0.41, and you'll get £34.85. Question 5. Ben works in a clothes shop. He only has to pay 55% of the cost of any clothes. If it costs £80, how much will he have to pay? So you're going to do, £80 times by 0.55, because that's the same as 55%. And you get £44. Right, question 6. 23 by 18, it's going to be increased by 20%. So I'm going to do 100% plus 20% equals 120%, which is 120 over 100, which is like multiplying by 1.2. So if I do 23, gone for a wonder, 23 times 1.2, I get 27.6 centimetres. And if I do 18 times by 1.2, I get 21.6 centimetres. Okay, so the number of sheep on a farm has increased from 120 to 198. Work out the percentage increase. It's always out of the original amount, which is the 120. So it's gone up 78 sheep. 78 out of 120, my original amount. I do that and make it into a decimal. 78 out of 120, so I divide and I get 0.65, and then to make it a percentage I times it by 100 and it's 65%. Last question. Last year when she was measured, Anita was 1.57 metres tall. This year she's 1.52, so she's actually gone down. So she's gone down, if you take them away, she's gone down by 0.05. Now you have to do it out of the original amount. So I'm going to do 0.05 out of 1.57 and multiply by 100. So 0.05 divided by 1.57 is equal to a very big long 0.031847. I times it by 100 and I get 3.184713375 on my calculator, but it says to the nearest 1%. So that's 1%. So I'm looking at it and it's a 1 afterwards, so it's just 3%. And that's it. So if you go through that and practice it, then look at the questions, and once you've got the methods, you should be able to do it next time.